Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO random run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're of course taking two random characters, mashing their stats together using the GMO mod, and trying to beat Danger 5 with whatever horrible monstrosity results. Let's jump in and see what we get. We've got Lich and Cyborg. Okay, this is going to be a weird one. I don't think that these characters work very well together at all. So I'm very interested to see how this will work. So Lich, we want to be constantly taking damage and dealing damage with our passive. Cyborg, you want to be building ranged damage and then converting it to engineering later on. I'm not certain what weapon set is going to work best with this combo, because there's really very little synergy. So you know what, let's just go for a random weapon and kind of see how that goes. Alright, Slingshot I'm pretty happy with. So we've got a minigun, which is, of course, going to help us in the early game clear all the enemies here. The downside is that I can't easily take damage for the Lich passive, but, of course, when we're killing everything, that doesn't really matter. Let's go make sure we're getting this tree. Nice. Alright, 57 with 6 on the ground after the first wave is pretty good. Cyborg, so let me just make sure. Cyborg doesn't have harvesting reductions, right? I always forget. It's got so many stats. So I think we will just grab the harvesting. And yeah, so Lich gives us HP regen and lifesteal. And then we do damage based on our HP to a random enemy whenever we heal, but all damage we buy is reduced by 50%. Cyborg gives us additional ranged damage when we buy ranged damage, and then it gets converted to engineering. But the main issue here is that Lich is going to reduce our ranged damage, or Lich is going to reduce our range damage purchase from Cyborg. I'm not certain how those multiply, whether we get 200% or whether we get 125%. So we'll have to see there. I'm also not sure. We have negative melee damage modifications, right? We've got minus 150%. So what happens when we buy melee damage? I am very curious to find out if we actually lose melee damage when we purchase some. Not that that's something we really need on this character, but I think that will be very funny to learn. I do want the coupon, but I'm looking to fill out my slingshots here. That gives me extra HP for the Lich's passive, and I think we will be sort of more of a Lich than we are a Cyborg. But turrets are pretty good on Lich in general, so just the items that give you turrets, because if you build some engineering, then it doesn't really matter that you have lower damage. So we might be able to do some kind of engineering build anyways. This is another one that we're just going to have to sort of see how it plays out as we go. I'm just going to take luck here, just getting some of that going early seems pretty good. Grab the slingshot and roll, and roll, and roll, and roll, and roll. Okay, that's pretty unlucky that we found no slingshots there. Obviously, spending 50 on 0 slingshots is unfortunate, but, and, you know, if I'd known that would have happened, I'd have just bought the other items, but you can't know in advance that that's going to happen. Ooh, I managed to take a hit there. Why are we still doing 10 damage per shot with... Oh no, that's our Lich heal. I'm trying to figure out whether my slingshots are doing too much damage. I think they are. I don't think our range damage is getting converted properly. I'll take the lumberjack shirt here. That will help reasonably well, and I will buy range damage, so now we'll see how it stacks. So either I'm going to get 6 range damage out of this, or I'm going to get 3, and we get 6. Okay, so we just get triple range damage. And then here, lifesteal is pretty good for the Lich, so we'll just grab that. Now we get to buy our slingshot. Oh, whoops, of course I should have bought the coupon first, would have saved some money. Not enough that I would have been able to buy the gentle alien still, but obviously that was a mistake. And I will buy the slingshot. Peaceful Bee you can't ever buy on Cyborg because you're going to lose 3 range damage for it, which is obviously a lot. Oh no, of course the slingshot should still be doing 10 damage because it's only our range damage that gets reduced, not the base damage of the weapon. Not sure what I was thinking there. walk into the projectiles. You can use projectiles to tank damage, and then, as the Lich, use those to do passive damage. Having a minigun is, of course, very good for the Lich, because that lets us lifesteal constantly. Additional speed. I don't honestly think we need this right now, and I don't want to lose my luck. I'll take the harvesting here. We can get to 16, and then we'll level up these slingshots. We probably don't really need to level the slingshots, but I think it's still good to do so. Take the gentle alien. Alien worm you can often buy on Lich, because even though reducing consumable heals is typically bad, on Lich you want lots of small healing instances, so -1 HP from consumables can be a can actually give you more triggers of your passive. I think it's still good to buy consumable healing items on the Lich, but Alien Worm is less bad than it usually is, and if you don't care that much about losing consumable heal, then 3 HP and 2 regen is a pretty good deal. We'll buy the slingshot here and roll again, and a tree, that's pretty nice as well, and go to the next wave. Haven't found that much ranged damage yet. And don't currently have a great way to take damage because our weapon set is too good right now. But of course, once our ranged damage turns into engineering, we have a little bit of an easier time tanking damage. On Lich, of course, and on slingshot builds also, you want pickup range or baby geckos if you can find those, so we'll definitely be taking those very highly since we want them both because we're slingshots and because we're Lich. I'm going to roll here, and I think I'm going to take armor over ranged damage. Honestly, I'm not that worried about boosting my ranged damage that much, but boosting our armor is going to be really important for the Lich playstyle, and we'll take attack speed as well to constantly trigger our healing. I am going to take Weird Food and Broken Mouth, and I do want to buy Lifesteal. I don't know if I want to buy Bat here. I think it's still good to buy. Just getting to like 20% Lifesteal means we'll be very rapidly triggering our Lifesteal, which will be very good. And then I'll buy this Slingshot. I will also buy the Duct Tape as well, even though it cost me max HP. Armor's so good on this character. Poisonous Tonic, yes. Plant, probably not, because we lose a lifesteal for regen. We do want both. And Plant is fairly efficient, but I think reducing my lifesteal is worse than buying regen. Or reducing my lifesteal is more bad than the regen from Plant is good. Trying to walk into as many of these projectiles as we can to make our Lich passive faster. I have to say, Lich with a minigun is not that difficult a character, because you get to trigger your lifestealing so reliably. Although Lich, of course, always excels in the early rounds anyways, and struggles more later on. Here, I'm going to just take some additional luck. Leveling that up seems pretty good. We'll take the recycling machine for sure. Poisonous Tonic, yes. Duct Tape, yes. I'm 3 short of getting a reroll, which is a little unlucky, but we'll just go to the next wave. On this wave, usually for Lich, you want to break the eggs because your passive will bounce to them and bounce to the big slashers, but on this version of the character, at least in the first half of the wave, I think we can let them hatch because we'll have enough damage to clear them pretty quickly, thanks to having a minigun. And we won't give up that much damage against other things on the field because we've got our slingshots just bouncing around constantly. Second half of the wave, I'm going to be more aggressive about clearing the eggs so that our passive is constantly going off. It's so hard to pick up all these materials. There's so many on the ground. Losing 8 luck for 25% XP gain. I'm gonna buy this because we're going into wave 8 and 9. HP is really good, and you get more HP when you have more XP. Obviously, losing luck is painful, but I think Black Belt will still help with this character. And I might not do this if I wasn't really curious what would happen when I buy melee damage. So we buy melee damage, plus 3 melee damage equals minus 1 melee damage for this guy. That's really funny. Buy that, and then do I want armor, HP, speed? I think I'm going to take health here, max health, and then I'll buy speed next time I see it. We'll upgrade our slingshot, buy the gentle alien, and Blood Leech is really good for Lich, of course, even though it costs you harvesting, because you need both of the stats that it gives you. Most builds don't want Blood Leech in general, because you only want one of the 2 stats, and it's an inefficient way to buy them, but on characters that are building both stats, it's very good. Upgrade our slingshot and buy another one, and we've got cake. And I'll do one more reroll to see if there's something else I can get. I will indeed take the helmet. So I guess that works the other way too. If I buy negative melee damage, I'll increase my melee damage, because we get minus 150% of all the melee damage we buy. I don't think you could try building this character specifically to work with that in some way, maybe. Like, I wonder if there's a build you could do where your goal is to buy all the items that decrease certain damage. Like, we could have bought both of those Peaceful Bees if we wanted to build a melee version of this character. That would be very funny if there was a way to make that work. Ran over there to get that tree at the end. I'll definitely take armor and dodge, even though it cost me HP. And yeah, I'll take 2 more points of armor. We'll buy the laser turret, of course, because any constructs we have will benefit very strongly from any range damage we get from Cyborg. So we're going to buy that, buy cake, buy helmet, roll. Another minigun? Sure, don't mind if I do. And of course, Weird Ghost is excellent on Lich, because when you start damaged, it means that you're triggering your Lich passive right from the beginning of the round. I will also lock the Alien Tongue. We're leaving so many materials on the ground that will be worth a lot to us. I did have to stop myself from charging straight into the enemies, because of course this character normally wants to take damage, so I was there going, alright, time to take damage, but we had 1 health, because it's Weird Ghost, so that would have been a mistake if I had done that. Now I can take damage. We've got really solid armor, too, which is nice, so I'm able to actually just charge in and tank the damage as it comes in. And get much more consistent triggers of my Lich passive going. There I went a little below half health, so I do need to still be a little careful. We left 89 materials on the ground still. Night Goggles, not an amazing item for this character. We gain range and crit chance and lose HP and armor. Something that is kind of interesting is that range helps us more consistently trigger lifesteal, which we care more about than dealing damage. So I think Night Goggles I'm going to take for that reason. Not that this is a great item, but it will help with bursting down the bosses before our damage swaps over to engineering, and it'll help us consistently trigger our lifesteal. Here I'm going to take 9% speed, because our negative speed is too bad. I'll take the ranged damage, of course, here to boost that, and then I think it's late enough I don't really care that much about the harvesting. I'm just going to take attack speed. We will upgrade to a second minigun, and Alien Tongue, roll here. This will bring me back down to just 3 consumable heal per thing that I pick up, but I think it's worth taking Alien Worm. It's after wave 9, so I'm not going to take the Scar, but I will take the Bait. Bait is really good on Lich, too, because it lets you take initial damage from the Lampreys. Sharp Bullet will, of course, increase our increase our lifesteal significantly. It does reduce the damage that the miniguns do with their piercing shots, if we were mostly a minigun build, then Sharp Bullet is something that you might not always want to take. But for this build, I think it's just going to be really good because it just guarantees that we're getting our lifesteal going. Take Slingshot. And Cyberball's pretty good on this character as a non-weapon source of damage sometime, but with the 50% damage from Lich, it's still just not going to do that much. I could take the rocket launcher as well, but I think the slingshots are just going to be better. Just because all we really care about is lifesteal. So the Lampreys let me take a bunch of initial damage and trigger the Lich passive. More percent damage would be nice for this character, because our Lich passive is pretty weak right now. And one thing that's kind of funny is that sometimes on Lich you can buy some engineering and have an engineering sub-theme, but since we're Cyborg, we can't do that. But we still want to buy the engineering items, so it puts us in a weird position there. 2 miniguns is still just killing things before our passive has a chance to. I don't want to lose armor, so we'll recycle that. And then here, I'm just going to take more armor, in fact. Upgrade the slingshot. We've got an elite, so the hope is that I can burst down this elite before our damage swaps over from ranged to engineering. So we're going to try to find any other additional ranged damage that I can in the shop here. We'll take the blindfold, though. Dodge is still good on the Lich, even though you want to take damage, because you're going to be building a lot of defensive stats, and you have a lot of healing, so the dodge is a huge increase to your effective HP, and you'll still find ways to take damage, don't worry about that. Scope is great. This gives us a lot of extra range damage. Not normally great, but great for this version of the character, since we are a cyborg. Slingshot is going to, yeah, we'll just get a level 4 slingshot and a level 1. Reroll here and see if there's anything else that I want to buy. I will take the laser turret, and Insanity will again help us burst down this elite as quickly as we can. Here it is. Definitely weaker in terms of burst damage than you would normally want to be on a cyborg. But we should have no problem killing it before we swap damage types. Now, there's enough floaters in this map that I can take damage, although I do have to be a little careful once our damage swaps over. Wave 11 is always a little bit dangerous for the Cyborg because, well, both for Cyborg and for Lich, because in the second half of the wave, you don't have single target damage. All your damage is either engineering or from your passive. And so it's very hard to kill specific rib cages, meaning that it's very likely some of them get fast enough to catch you. The mechanic for that enemy, just to, you know, it's worth repeating sometimes, because I have mentioned it in like my enemies tier list and stuff, but the mechanic for the rib cage there is that it slowly gets faster over time until it becomes faster than you can possibly get and will always damage you. So you need to kill them before that happens. Bloody Hand is obviously awesome for us. This is a huge amount of bonus damage, even though we only get 1% damage for every 1% lifesteal, since we gain 50% of the normal damage. That's a huge pile of percent damage, and of course, lifesteal is great on this character. And taking constant damage is great for us, because that means that we will be constantly healing more often. I'm just going to take 6% speed here. I could roll for some, like a higher leveled item, but we do need to increase our speed a little bit. Take the ranged damage here. Laser turret and landmines will both help with our wave clear in the second half. And then I'll roll again. Tentacle, honestly, not bad for bursting down elites and will give us another way to heal, which is pretty nice, actually. I could take the boxing glove, because boxing glove will let us push rib cages away from us. So adding a little bit of knockback to our build would work there. But we do have a whetstone already, so we would just be at negative. We'd just be at 0 knockback, so it wouldn't help that much. See, I'm learning. I'm going to reroll here and buy the slingshot. And Garden is another way to just have healing on the field, so we can do that. Wisdom, even worse for Cyborg than for other characters, because the whole point of this character is to burst down the elites before anything bad happens to you. Maybe I don't need the Garden, but just as insurance here. I do think that this build looks like it's ridiculously strong right now, and it is, I think, ridiculously strong, but I do think it will fall off over the next couple waves as it becomes harder for our passive to clear the waves for us in the second half of the wave. And just normally Cyborg can struggle in some of the later waves when your damage swaps over, because engineering builds are, especially when we don't have the items that actually give us engineering builds, tend to struggle with late game wave clear. That said, we do enough damage just with our weapon attacks also that we're still just killing things because we have 2 good attack speed and 2 miniguns. So even though we aren't gaining any flat range damage on these attacks, we're still just killing things with our actual weapon attacks. I'll take the % dodge here, can get to dodge cap eventually. Coupon and Garden and roll. Slingshot, yep, I can combine and buy another slingshot, buy another tentacle. Definitely don't want the energy bracelet because we cannot afford to reduce our range damage by that much, but blindfold will be great. And then let's roll again. Slingshot, yes. I think I will take snail as well. Reducing enemy speed will make it easier for me to survive in the second half of these waves. I will say we are lower HP than I would normally want to be on a Lich. And kind of lower flat damage than I would normally want to be on a Cyborg. Usually you should have hit about like 40 or 50 flat range damage at this point. The Lich reducing the amount that we get does make it a little harder to have done that, but also we've just been prioritizing other things. You can see, even if I walk into all these projectiles, take a million hits, we heal back up very quickly because of our incredible lifesteal. I wouldn't mind just a little more base regen. Fairy, obviously, I would take super highly. One downside of this character combination is we can't use Cute Monkey, which is normally a great way for Liches to heal. Riposte, we could reduce our melee damage and then get damage based on melee damage. It's still really funny to me that when we buy melee damage, it decreases with this character combo. Pocket Factory is awesome, though. Obviously, that's going to help a lot in terms of later game wave clear, because we'll build up turrets. Pocket Factory, excellent for Cyborgs, of course, because in the early game, you can kill stuff and in the early game where Pocket Factory struggles because it hasn't built up enough turrets yet, you have the range damage, and then in the second half of the wave, you have the Pocket Factory turrets. I'll take the regen there, just try to get that to a higher value soon. Buy this and this, roll. Nothing here that I want. I'll roll. Take some luck. We can't really profitably buy engineering, so I'm not going to. And then definitely going to buy Gentle Alien. The question is, do I want Baby with a Beard more than I want Gentle Alien? Or do I want the Slingshot to try to kill the Elite faster? I don't think I'm going to worry about the Slingshot, or the how fast I kill the Elite. I think I'll take the Gentle Alien, improve my economy going into this wave, because I think we'll clear this Elite pretty quickly anyways. And then we'll take Baby with a Beard next round. Good both for initial wave clear, but also really solid for lifesteal. Elite waves are great for Lich if you have the damage to kill the Elite, because it gives you an easy way to make sure that you're constantly damaged, because all you have to do is walk into the Elite. Normal Lich builds would struggle with killing Elites, but this one doesn't, so we just get to have the best of both worlds, where we kill the Elite quickly, but also get to stay damaged. Now that I have Pocket Factory, any more trees we can get would be really nice. Kind of wish I'd gotten Bag, too, because we... there any chance we can kill that guy? Yes. Alright. I needed my passive to tag onto the loot alien a couple times to kill him. But the fact that our attack damage, even without any flat range damage, is still really good is obviously going very well for this build. I'm going to recycle the robot arm here. Yes, 6 armor would be very valuable, but losing HP regen and lifesteal I don't think we want to do. No, 6 armor so much, I should still just take it. Lure is great, we can get our regen going. Landmines, sure. Statue, no. Here, I'm going to take the flat range damage to try to burst down bosses quicker. We will take the baby with a beard. I will take the defective steroids. HP is still valuable, so I'll pay 3% attack speed for the HP, and then we can lower our melee damage some more. Mutation, normally a very poor item, but on Cyborg still obviously excellent, so we'll grab it, and then we will take the lifesteal here. My move speed, I probably do want to increase, so I'll buy the Terrified Onion. And then that's a pretty expensive reroll, so let's wait. I don't really need to increase lifesteal. 20% with miniguns and slingshots is fine, but of course it helps trigger my passive more often, and it's really good with Bloody Hand. This is one of those runs where the screen is just chaos the whole time, and it's really fun. I feel like something is wrong with the way the Cyborg damage conversion is working, because I think my weapon attacks are just doing too much damage after, like, when we're in the engineering phase. I'd have to do the math. But it feels like I'm doing too much damage with my weapons. Sure, more lifesteal. All of these stats are great for us, and we can gain some engineering for elemental damage, but we have none, so let's just recycle that. Here, I could take regen, I could take luck, I could roll for something. I'll just take the regen. I think more of that is going to give us the most out of any of these stats. We'll definitely take the range damage, even at the cost of attack speed. I'd like to increase my attack speed now, too. Metal detector doesn't give me much in the way of engineering, but the luck, I think, is still worth it here. I'll pick that up. Leather vest, roll. We will grab metal and roll. And an incendiary turret is a nice turret to have in the second half of the wave, so we'll pick that up as well. And we'll take some more armor from the duct tape, I think. Although 20 armor and 69 HP, nice, is still not as much HP as I want, so maybe I actually shouldn't buy armor and should just roll for health. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab I guess all of these 3 level 1 items are all perfect. So I think the one thing that this build really needs at this point is to be just to have a little more max HP. More dodge would help as well in terms of survivability. But our wave clear is really good, even in the second half of these waves. Just the combination of normal Cyborg stuff plus the fact that the Lich passive can help clear means that we've still got good wave clear. And I do think it's possible that our weapon damage is bugged. But we're not in any danger of dying to damage because we heal so quickly, and our wave clear is good enough that we're not getting overwhelmed. Not making like the most impressive money per wave, but still doing okay. We'll take bait here and max HP. That's exactly what I want. Buy all 3 of these. We don't need to pay to decrease our melee damage here. Buy more coffee, and baby gecko, of course, is still good even at this late stage, so I'll pick it up. And a reroll. More range damage, yes. Buying 2 lenses and some coffees is going to help go a long way towards killing this elite really quickly, which is what we want. And then more trees is obviously more money, but also more turrets because we have Pocket Factory. Don't need to buy anything else. Let's go kill this elite as quick as we can. And yes, I did buy bait going into an elite wave, but I felt like we'd be okay. Just gonna stand still. So if you stand still against this elite, by the way, he'll never attack you. So as long as you can, clear the other enemies, you can just stand still against that elite. I think sometimes the slashes can appear under you because there is a random offset, but it's pretty rare, and so often the safest way, if you've got the wave clear for the other things on the field to fight that elite, is to bully it into a corner and then just stand still. More lifesteal. Yes, I do lose 6 range damage, which is a lot, but this obviously is all stats that we love, so I'm going to grab it. And then here, yeah, sure, we'll take 15 luck. Cute monkey I still don't want, but spicy sauce I'll take, and then I'll reroll. Mouse, perfect for this character. We also have 17 speed, so power generator is going to be good. Reroll here, and gambling token will get me almost to dodge cap, so I will pick that up, I think. But first we're going to grab small magazine, and we'll take alien magic as well. I will say one thing about the GMO mod that I'm not convinced by, and I know you can toggle this off, is that the penalty that it gives you in exchange for having 2 classes, the like balancing method, includes more enemies on the field, which is a good thing for most character classes. I still think it's better to play with the penalty on than off, because I think 2 classes worth of abilities is just too strong for most character combinations, and the penalty is more bad than it is good. But the fact that the nominal penalty has something that is has an effect that you pay quite highly to buy in the store and will buy very aggressively in the store just feels a little off to me. So if the mod author is watching, then, you know, I might consider another effect for that spot. We'll just take the lifesteal here. It's worth more than the damage, I think. I mean, I guess we only get 2% damage. Here we get 6% damage, but yeah, I think that's fine. I don't believe Hunting Trophy will pay for itself even with 34 crit chance. Although it might, and I'm kind of curious if it will. So I'm going to buy the Hunting Trophy just to see how late you can buy Hunting Trophy and still have it be good. If we make... So it cost me 179, I'm pretty sure. So if we make that back, then it's really interesting that you can buy Hunting Trophy that late and still make money off it. I'd rather just have 2 different miniguns than a level 4 minigun and a level 1 slingshot, so we'll just go to the next wave. I guess also we only have half the wave really to make our Hunting Trophy money. I don't think it's going to pay for itself, but I wanted to do some science, because sometimes when you have a run that's going well like this, it's helpful to do science for future runs. But I guess it's not great science for this run, because the second half of the wave, where more enemies are on the field and Hunting Trophy is normally more lucrative, we aren't doing damage with our weapon attacks, so we're not going to get Hunting Trophy money. I like this cluster of Pocket Factory turrets. All the trees spawned in the same spot. Chameleon, that actually gets me to dodge cap. I wouldn't normally take this. I'd normally just take the 133, but because it takes me to dodge cap, I think it's worth it. HP and luck, definitely. And then, yeah, I'll just take the attack speed here. So let's check the Hunting Trophy. 90 materials. So it came close, actually. If we weren't the Cyborg, in a normal build, I think it would have paid for itself. So that's really interesting that Hunting Trophy is so close to paying for itself, even with only half the wave to give me money. Buy all this stuff, and then I guess capping our max HP is fine here. We'll buy the handcuffs. Oh, I should have obviously bought Broken Mouth before buying that, but I guess we won't buy Broken Mouth now. I'll just reroll. Could have got the Whetstone or the Slingshot, reroll. Could have got Blood Donation. That would be a nice one for this character. Constant damage ticks, of course, are really good for Lich. Alright, let's see how fast we can kill the elites. I don't feel like I'm in any danger of not killing them. Make sure to take a couple hits so that our passive is going off. On this wave, you have 45 seconds in range damage mode, and then 45 seconds in engineering mode. And there we go. We have defeated the bosses with the Lich plus Cyborg combo. That was a weird combo. I never felt like I was in incredible danger. We finished with the perfect amount of range damage, though, so happy with that. The hunting trophy ended up with 96 materials. So yeah, so one thing that's really interesting that we learned here is how little time hunting trophy needs to pay for itself when you have a decent crit chance. Of course, we also had a million extra enemy spawns, so the fact that we had 45% additional enemies also, it plays a big role in that. Other than that, nothing in particular that is super important to highlight, I don't think. I think this was just a very strong combo overall. Obviously, Coupon more than, Coupon crushed it, as it usually does. Recycling Machine paid for itself pretty well. Not as good as it usually does, because we wanted so many stats on this character that the Recycling Machine, we just were taking most items we found rather than recycling them. But overall, this was a really fun run. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and of course, as always, if you have, then feel free to leave a comment, like the video, and you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game content. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.